All right. I'll try to do this as quick and concise as possible. I hope all can kind of follow along. This is just kind of sharing an observation. I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between camera a little bit because I wrote some stuff down, but wanted to start with this. So we have an eclipse today. And then we had the first one of the first, quote, great eclipses on August 21st, 2017, or 218. And see the coordinates are at 37 degrees, 37, 37, 42, 87, but 37 degrees. And the greatest eclipse time is 18:26:40. Okay? So from August 21st, 2017 to October 1st, 2017 is 42 days. Or 1 month, 11 days, 1,008 hours, there's 18, or 6 weeks. I like the 11.51%. We'll use one of those, but that's kind of funny too. 10-1 was this with it's the Route 91 Harvest Festival. Day leaving 91 days left in the year. This happened from the 32nd floor by the 64-year-old Stephen Paddock. Of course, S is 19, which can reduce to 10. P is the 16th letter that can reduce to 7. So there's a 10-7. That'll play in. It says killing 60. That's interesting because it's not, but we'll get to that. 413, that could be your 4-4. It's funny too. That'll play. From Paradise, Nevada, on the 36th parallel, 3-6, and the 115, and that happened between 10:05 and 10:15. Of course, that was 42 days, and this guy had 24 firearms, including 14 .223 AR-15s. And let's see. Here's the writing. That's why I'm going to be flipping back and forth. SP 36. But of course 322, but that 14 guns and 15 is 29. 29. You got 8 AR-10s. That'll come back. I'll show you in some pictures. And the 308, so a lot of 3.8s there. There's your 61. So mirror that is 19 or 9-1. But if you look, it said 2 died. I hate saying that because victims in quotes. In 2019 and 2020, after the fact, plus the perpetrator would leave 58, which is what was reported that day. 58. Okay. Got Super Bowl 58 coming up in the 104th season. 104. At 3:30. 3:03 Pacific Standard Time from Paradise on 2/11, or the 11th of the 2nd, 11/2. We'll get to that one too. If I pause a little bit, it's because I'm looking over these notes. So 2/11/2024 has a 57 path as well, 5-7. And February 11th is the 42nd day of the year, leaving 3 days. Henry VIII, head Church of England. But funny thing about 211 is the late Ran Treaty. I know it's not late Ran, but it's kind of the running joke. Treaty was signed by this guy, the Mussolini character. But this is what recognized Vatican City as an independent state under the sovereignty of the Holy See, which is the Pope. In 48, the Lateran Treaty was recognized in the Constitution. No separation of church and state there, but the treaty was significantly revised in 1984, ending the status of Catholicism as the sole state religion. How Orwellian. 6-7, June 7th was when it was effective. 7-6. Is that 7-6? That'll come back in too. Moving on. Let's make sure. Oh, yeah. No, we gotta go back. Interesting facts. So we'll go over these. I just think it's funny. 1946, the New Testament of the Revised Standard Version of the Bible, the first significant challenge to the King James, is published. Let's get the 53, get the Rosenbergs. Israeli, Soviet are severed. Iranian Revolution. 1990. That's 10/9/19. Nelson Mandela is released from Cape Town, South Africa, after 27 years as a political prisoner. That's the 16th letter. It's 7-7. 1990, Buster Douglas, that's a 2-4 BD, is a 42-1 underdog, knocking out Mike Tyson in Tokyo, Japan, for the title. Interesting. Japan, World War II, that'll come in. Let's see, make sure. There's that, and we covered that. We had to go back. Forgive me. So, Super Bowl, February 11th to the next great solar eclipse, which is 8-4 or 4-8. We know that date, 8-4, 4-8, reflection is 58 days, like Super Bowl 58. 1 month, 29, or 8 weeks and 2 days. 8 weeks and 2 days, 8-2. 1585, 685. Okay. October 7th. Of course, this is the day that they officially announced that 42-word WAR, the RAW. October 7th is the 280th day, the 28th day of the year, leaving 85 days. This is the day in history that they say that the Hebrew calendar was made. That's 3761 BC. B2, C3. But 3-7 is 10. 6-1 is 7. There's another 10-7. Code on 10-7. That's when the Hebrew calendar started, and we'll get to that a little bit more in a second. But also, it says that this guy was born Drusus Julius Caesar, not the one we're aware of, but we'll get to him, was born in 14 BC and passed 23. 2-3. Of course, we know this one. And he was born the 12th of July, 127. 127 of 100 BC. And of course, died the Ides of March, the 15th of March, in 44 BC. His temple, and of course, there's that. His temple is at the 41st degree north, 12 east, 41. Hebrew calendar, which again, as I said, started, they say, in 3761 BC, being 2023. It's the 5,784th year. Oops. Leaving 216 years to completion. 216, of course, is the 6 times 6 times 6. But then the Hebrew lunar year is about 11 days shorter, 11, than the solar year, and uses the 19-year Metonic cycle to bring it into line with the solar year, in addition to the intercalary month every 2 or 3 years, for a total of 7 times in 19 years. Even with this intercalation, the average Hebrew calendar is longer by about 6 minutes and 40 seconds, 6-4, than the current tropical year, so that every 216 years the Hebrew calendar will fall a day behind. Year of the world. The world. Making sure I got everything here again. Okay. So from October 7th to the Super Bowl 11th of the second month, February 11th, is 127 days. Or 4-4. 4-4. So we're seeing how some connections are done. So we're at the end of this page. 18 weeks in one day. Got the 181, 118. But 127 days. And of course, 4 months, 4 days. Caesar, we just covered the 44, 4-4. Man, I thought I had it here. So, let's see where I was at. 127 is the 31st prime. 3-1. 127, we'll get more to 127, of course. Make sure I got everything. Okay, so from October 7th, the day the 42 stage war started, until April 8th, the next great solar eclipse is 185 days. Or 6 months, 2 days. Or 4440 hours, 26 weeks, and 3 days. 3 days. 50.68, almost 51. And just tie stuff in. Of course, just had the 185. 4-4, the World Trade Center opened on April 4th, 73, the 3-7. And we had the Yom Kippur 42 war back on the 6th, And that was 185 days in between. But this guy, yeah, of course, 44 MLK. It's the 13, 12th, 11th number, 13, 12, 11. That'll play again here in just a minute. That's nuts. I just noticed this one. Equals the 36, Osama bin Laden, 15th, 2nd, and 12th. Sums to the 29th, 2-9 again. Big important. Birthday is 310, so it could be 3-1-57. Sorry, I'm trying to read notes here. Again, I apologize a little bit for this, but anybody that's watching probably can follow. And of course, we've already covered a number of 77s. That flight 77 took off 77 minutes later. It flew into the Pentagon, which we'll get to here in a second as well. That's 77 feet tall. That's 7 stories, 5 above ground, 2 below, the 2-5. 5-2, totaling 7. This is got right there. And 94, 77, 185, 24/7, man, that is 24/7. I don't want to get too much into this. I want to keep this going. Just want to make sure I covered all my notes here. So April 8th is the 98th day of the year. 9/8, 99th in leap year. Of course, that ties to her husband, which we'll get to in a second. 267 could be 69, 96, still sums to the 15, 5-1, 1-5. Queen dies. We'll get to that in a second, but got some events to go to on this one too. I should come back to this, but team of computer manufacturers, users, university people led by Grace Hopper, GH7887, meets to discuss the creation of the new programming language that would be called COBOL. It's funny. The Netherlands and West Germany agreed to negotiate for 280 million to 8 flight BOAC. AC 712. That could be 73. Still the 10, the X. We'll get to that too. Catches fire shortly after takeoff as a result of her actions in the accident. Barbara, like George H.W.'s wife, Jane Harrison, is awarded a posthumous George Cross. That's G7C3, the only GC awarded to a woman in 1968. Well, that's the year that Twin Towers were built, 911, fentanyl, coronavirus was coined, whole number of things. 75-57, Frank Robinson manages the Cleveland Indians. The Indians, first African American. 12 years later, Dodgers gets busted over racist remarks. Funny. Solar eclipse. Barack Obama, he was born 8/4. Russian president. The New START Treaty. End of life. Windows XP 2014. 14 is 7/7. This was the April 8th, and I'm missing a lot, so please, again, I'll ask if you have anything, feedback, additions, comments, complaints, gripes, grievances. Anyways, moving on. 98th day, this lady died, 9/8, 2022. 9 and 8 is 17. That's the 8 and 2, 4, 6. It's 86. Got an 86er. We've talked about 2 6s a bunch, and As we probably already know, she was born for you, April 4/21, 26. She became queen on the 2nd of February. Her coronation, she was coronated on 6/2, June 2nd. She was queen of 32 sovereign states, remained the monarch of 15, 5115, and a reign of 70 years is the longest of any female in history. And last time I checked, 10 times 7 was 70. That's 10-7. Longest in history. Fun fact about this one, too. She died 911 days from 3/11, 3/11, 2020. And died leaving 114 days left, and we'll get to that. She was married in 47 to Prince Philip, 1947. 47. And we'll get back to that. A lot of Georges here, too. There's Georges. Bye, George. Make sure I got all my information. So, September 8th, the day she died, is the 251st day. It could be 7117. But it leaves 114 days in the year, and that's kind of what's important there, the 114. We're getting to that because today, this started last night. It really started yesterday, but really last night into the early morning hours, if you will. There's an eclipse today, 10/14, 1/14/23. Going right over us. I just watched it. Spectacular. Spectacular. It's 1/14. And then this was funny, I'd just like to throw this in. NASA is planning to launch a series of rockets to study the impacts of the celestial event, of how the celestial event will have I'm messing up. Is planning to launch a series of rockets to study the impacts of the celestial event will have on our atmosphere. It's funny, I just saw a comment about the Paw Patrol new movie with a meteor coming, and in that movie, because yes, I went with my daughter and my wife. We still just do stupid stuff, don't care. But anyways, they show the characters flying by the moon in our atmosphere. And they say that the moon's in our atmosphere now. But it's 233 approximate miles away. That's a whole nother video that I'll do later. But yeah, they plan on launching rockets to see what'll happen. But if the sun and moon are outside of our atmosphere as we were taught when we were younger, then what would something outside of our celestial body have on our atmosphere within it? Anyways, I thought that was a bit funny. It's a bit of the yolks. And then this, I know that Abraham Lincoln had something to do with eclipses and the meteor, which ties into that. And the comment I just saw on that, which is hilarious, but I type in Abraham Lincoln eclipse, and literally the third article gives me the Lincoln kidney eclipses and their similarities, which is absolutely absurd at this point, seeing that the synchronicities or the connections or the weird names, dates, people, places, Kennedy and a Lincoln, Lincoln in at the Kennedy, so on and so forth, is beyond 1 trillion to 1 odds. And of course, famous for a meteor that happened November 12th through the 13th. So that's 11, 12, 13. Let's go to this. 11, 12, 13 to the... I was just looking at it. 11, 12, MLK. 11, 12, 13. I said we'd come back to it. Look at that. 11, 12, 13, 18, 33. Of course, that's at 36, and the 18 is the 9, 3, 3 is 6, kind of like the Queen. But we won't get into that. I want to keep this short, but if you want to go check that out, please do. It's all, I mean, numbers, dates, it gets into the Metonic cycle. I mean, this thing is a lot to go through, but man, is everything April 20th. There's an eclipse this year on April 20th as well, I might add. Not over the US though, but that is, we'll get to that too. Yeah, you can get into that one if you want, but the funny thing of the meteor, and of course the Queen was 96, 1833, so on and so forth, but eclipses, they said this guy was crucified during one that lasted 3 hours, and he died at 3 p.m. And it was supposed to have gone on for 6 hours, that we're told in history, so 9, 2, 3. For my We Seek, We Find, and we'll get to him too, buddy. Funny thing about this too, they got this in with this, of course, the wiki, the scene from Barabbas, and I may not be pronouncing that one correct, but that came out 2/15/61. 1/9 is 10 and 6/1 is 7. There's another 10/7 encoding, but also the 61, 16, 19, 9/1, 2/15. It's 2/6. See where I'm kind of, I mean, all these connections are uncanny again, but this guy, we can go into that, but we're not. Of course, it was said that this was Friday, April 3rd. That's AD 33. He died 3 p.m. and the eclipse lasted 3 hours. About 3 p.m. as you see there. That's 4-3 and 3-3 is 6. It's 7-6, and we'll go over pictures. There's more to this one. Let's see. Yeah, Bush born 7-6. Younger Bush. Sorry, I'm going back over the notes again. Thank you so much. Guidestones were destroyed on 7/6 of 2022, the same year the Queen died. And they were established on 3/22/1980. And that's 1, 9, 10, 8 is 18. There's another 18, 6, 6, 6. And I don't really get into that. I think it's funny how these things carry it. But just kind of give you we were talking about Bush Jr. Bush Jr., of course, was president during 9/11. And October 7th is when we began the military action in Afghanistan after the attacks. Right? 10/7. Of course, that's another war, another 42 there. 10/7 continued. We'll come back to him, but we'll go to his papa, George H.W. H8W23, was the 43rd VP from 1981 to 1989. 98-89, and he was the 41st president from 89 to 93. Sidebar on that, on 2/26/1993 at 11:18, the World Trade Center were bombed. As we know, you can look up in history. Let's see. He was born June 12th, 1924. That's 12 is a 3 and 6, and then he shows that he passed on November 30th, 2018. That's 218. That one's important too to this. I need 218. 218. 218. Oh, there's this one too, if anybody wants. I know my writing's sloppy, don't care. This was late. This was last night. It was coming fast and furious. Between this and checking stuff, a lot of this is stuff I've just known already. It's just kind of coming together now, but let's continue. Of course, November 30th, that's 11-3. Or 3011, so 311. He was the 81 to 89. He was the 11th director of the CIA, which is out of the Pentagon there, under Gerald Ford. I'll cover him in a second. Gerald Ford, he gave a speech at the Herbert Hoover 88 HH Library in 1989. Is that 9889 again, about a woman becoming president. And this is to be continued. Becoming president, TBC, to be continued. Continuing on, though. He was September 26, 74 to 75. Oh, January 30th, so 1376 to 12, or 20177. Oh, Dan Quayle too. I forgot this guy was, that's the 4 and the 17, that's 4884 again. 73, 71, 71. And there's your Barbara. He went to Yale. And Yale on 10-9, which is 19, right? 19. Turned 322 years old. There's that 322 again. Son went there as well. We won't get into that too much. We all know all that crap. Make sure I got this. So this guy right here, who was the 41st and 43rd vice president under Ronald Reagan, RR, Make America Great Again guy, originally. On September 11th, 1941, the Pentagon started construction. This guy, remember, again, was the 11th director of the CIA that's run out of the Pentagon that was hit on September 11th, and all the 7/7s with that. 7/7, 1977. Okay. On September 11th, 1990, this guy gave a speech about the NWO, which was 127 days before January 15th, 115, which was the Desert Storm or Iraqi Freedom, whichever one it was. Anyways, and there's that war word again, 42, on January 15th. That happens to be my brother's birthday, but that's 127 days before the war was declared. The theater of war was declared. And then on September 11th, 2001, buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell. That was during this guy's reign. Rain, haha. We'll get to some rains. There's lots of raining in here. George W., there's that 2-3 again, was born on 7/6. Was that 7/6, the day that those tablets came down, 7/6. Jesus thing again, 7/6. Not saying that he is, or any of that. I don't ascribe to any of that too, by the way. But George W., he was born 7/6, 46, 46, 64, like that Stephen Paddock dude. And the Hebrew calendar being 6 minutes and 40 seconds behind. Married. This guy is 77. He got married in 77 when his dad left the CIA in 77 to Barbara Bush. He was the 43rd president. His brother, of course, was the 43rd governor of Florida, which gained him the presidency too. Remember the Hanging Chad thing? And he went to Yale. This guy was also the 46th governor from January 17th, 1995. 95, we know what happened 95 to December 21st, 12/21, 2000. 12/21. Man, there's a lot with this guy, and of course he's 77, along with the Donald Trump character. He's 77 right now. DT being 420 as well. We've hit that 420 mark with an Eclipse and past Eclipse and more to come, I suppose. New Haven, Connecticut. Years of service from 68 to 74 in the 147th. 68 to 74. He graduated 68. We just covered that. Okay. So, February 9th. 2-9. We've covered that a couple times so far, right? 2992, 29. Let's flip back. Of course, that's the inverse of that 2-6, like the Queen. 6226 is the 40th day of the year. It says C number 1. And I'll show you. So we're back to number 1, the eclipse at the starter with. The time 18:26:40. 40. We've been talking about Lincoln and stuff and all these other people. 7 years ago, 47. A score is 20 years. A score is denoted by an X, like the 10, like the X's that are being made. So 40 would be the XX, like the two eclipses, the two scores, XX, and 325, that can be construed as 37, which just gets you to the 10 as well. February 9th, we'll get kind of back to this. I'm not going to make any predictions. I'm not going to say anything. These are just observations. I just wanted to share, and I really want feedback. Continuing on, 40th day, XX. Of course, Biden's number was the 47th VP. We'll get to him. All right. So we got this chick. She was born October 20th, 1964. She is the 49th VP. See number 24. The speech given in 1989 by Gerald Ford at the Herbert Hoover Library. Herbert Hoover died the same day Kamala Harris was born, 10/20/1964. And whoops, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I'm not going to pull him up, but he was the 31st, like 127 is the 31st prime. He was the 31st president from March 4th, 1929, 29, 3, 4, and the 29 in there. You see it. To March 4th, 1933. It's 3, 4, and 3, 3. And the third 3, Secretary of Commerce from March 5th, 1921 to August 21st, 1923. 28. That's 21828. And 1921 could be another 31. He made the speech about a woman becoming president again. We'll continue on a little bit. Of course, the 201s. She is was the 32nd Attorney General of California from January 3rd, 2011, to 2017, right before that first eclipse on 21/8 of 17. She is 58 years old right now, and she will be 59 in 6 days. She is the VP for the 59th election cycle, with the 60th upcoming. Oakland, University of Cal. All right, now we're getting into the thick of it. So from her birthday, October 20th, be this year, to the February 9th, the 2/9 day, is 112 days. Or 3 months, 20 days. Or 26, 88 hours. Or 16 weeks. Or it could be rounded up to 31%, but 30 and 68. Man, all these numbers, I didn't even really notice that one. But we know about the 112s and the stages. I hope. Moving on. Man, this is real quick. There's that page. Okay. So we got this guy. Joe Biden, Robinette, was born 11/20/1942. There's your 4-2. And your 11-2. 1-1-2, 2-11, like the Super Bowl. He is the 46th and current president. He was the 47th president, VP. Let's go over this guy. Just want to make sure I got everything here. He is 80 years old now. He will be 81 in 37 days. 37. Or 1 month, 6 day, which is kind of like 16 weeks with the Kamala Harris till she turns birthday. And her synchronicity with I saw like a Mercury connection between him and her, and it's coming up too. I don't want to get too into the weeds on that, but man, it's or 1 month, 6 days. It's also 5 weeks, 2 days. Or, I'm getting ahead of myself, or 10.14114% of the year, or 888 hours, or 53,280 minutes, 5328. Okay. He served as the VP from 201 of 2009, to January 20th, 201, 2017, same as Kamala right before the eclipse. He was the senator of Delaware from January 3rd, very familiar numbers too, 1373, to January 15th, there's that 115, like the Bush deadline, and the 115 degrees at Vegas. and then a picture that I'll share with you. But anyways, to 2009, 2009, 29. And then, of course, 1/5, January 5th, 71, 1/7, 10/7 to January 3rd, 1373, 73. Scranton. And all the other stuff with him, 72, 77. We won't get too in the weeds. We know a lot of this stuff. I just really want to connect these other things. Because from his birthday to that February 9th day is 81 days. He'll be 81. He won with 81 million votes, or 2 months and 20 days, which is 1944 hours. World War II, told you we'd come back to that. Japan, Tokyo, Mike Tyson, or 11 weeks and 4 days. 114. Again, like the Queen dying with 114 days left in the year. 10.14% of the year for his birthday. This guy, let's go back. This guy gave a speech about war, 4/2, on 2/22/2022 at 2:22 p.m. And the quote war, the 42, broke out on 2/24/22. And this guy was just in Hawaii after the 8/8 fires on August 21st, 2/18 of this year, on its 64th birthday. He was in Hawaii after the 8/8 fires on August 21st, 2/18, where this started. Hopefully things are starting to really connect here on its 64th birthday. Okay? See the 2 months to 20 days? 81. So to tie this up, from August 21st, 2017, where we started, to that date, 2/9/92, the 9th of the 2nd, is 2364 days, 2,364 days, or 6 years, 5 months, 20 days, or 77 months, 20 days. 6 years, 5 months, 20 days, 77 months, 20 days. Joe Biden will be 81 in 37 days, 1 month, 6 days, 5 weeks, 2 days, 5 months, 20 days. I don't know if this is reaching or not, but these are uncanny again. 6 years, 77, 20 days. For the We Seek, We Find, I told we get back to you, buddy, because I love your work too, your content. From 2/9 to your May 19th day is 101 days. That's the 10/1, where we started with 2. Or 3 months and 11 days. Or 14 weeks, 3 days. There's 14 and a 3 again. 2882. I hope you enjoyed that. So a little bit for fun too. Go to this. Fun facts. All this is quote unquote real. As real as I guess anything can be. This work I've done, these times, these dates I found. I did not plan to have 34 slides. Sorry, my writing is really terrible again, as you can see. My name is Michael Jones, as it's posted on here. These are my numbers that I'm about to show you. And this place is fascinating as all one could even begin to imagine. Because my birth is at 4/2/82. before we get to that last one, let's go over here. I knew it would do that. Bear with me now. Apologies. There's some, get rid of that advertisement. 114, 51, 66, 321. 630, 60, 51, another 60, there's your 111. Chaldean is 43, septenary, 41, keypad 53. Again, just funny stuff. I see stuff about organic gematria, which is funny also. If you go back and look, the very first video I ever made was after the Queen died during the full moon on 9/9 of 2022. Pretty sure. I'm not going to go check, but the first video I ever did was definitely after the Queen's passing. Lost years. Johnny Cash, that was 1988. The Ring of Fire, which was the eclipse today, 1014. Unnamed. I like listening to Matt a little bit. But anyways, lost years, because we'll get to this. This is the interesting thing. We'll get to picture. Oh, I guess we could just do pictures right now. So this started, as you can see up there at the top yesterday, 7:58. 758. 713, 11, but Friday the 13th, October 14th, that crazy dude, but the 88, 35, 12 hours ago. There's my We Seek, We Find. I mean, so much of this. 310 to Yuma, but 31, 13, 127, 31st prime, 310 views, 13 hours ago. 1013 with JM. 1013 23 tattoo face guy there. Yesterday 922 Black Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday is 211, as we've covered, and 29 is 2 days before that. Will we have Black Sunday? It's got the 6-8 and the 10 and the 74. Joe Biden, the 47th VP. 68 when a lot of this went in. The 6-8, the cube. 6 sides, 8 corners. I thought I had some notes for that too. Anyways, we'll continue on. There's that Jesus, Jesus, 4-2, Zeus, Jupiter, 4-3, 3-4, it can be the 7-6, which can reduce down to the 13 or the 4. And 218, again, when this started, so, wait. Get too much into that. Picture time last night, today. 118, that's today. The 8-10, 10-8. Paradise, 115, 10-15. So I was going to start taking pictures, but it's just too much. And then here's that video. 352, 37, February 3rd, 2-3, 3-6 on the 50th anniversary. United States 50th year of hip hop, a lot of 5-0 stuff, 110K subscribers, 110. How many stories were there? I took pictures just to be sure. Then there was this is today. Of course, today's the eclipse, and this was taken at 10:18, 118. 118. A 2P in key. In key. See that? 2P. P, the 16th letter. Venus as at its zenith. Kamala. And then wrapping it up, we've been talking about a lot of stuff, but Lincoln, Kennedy, Biden. Lincoln, the eclipses that went between them. Of course, he was the 16th president. Kamala Harris, 20th to February 9th, 16 weeks. 1 month, 6 days for Biden. He was the 35th, died at 46. Biden the 46th. LKB, that is 322. He died 1865. 9 and 11 equals 20. That's their score. 2. 1963. 10, 9, 19. 10 is the 1. 2024. 2, 6. 4, 4, or your 8. 2, 1, 8. We got the bug, the buildings, the birth, the death, one of, the war, 1925, that's 10-7, 1925, 1906, 16, and then there was 1887, 1868, 3-year difference, 3 between this. That's where I know that there are lost years in time because we keep changing the seasons and the times, and that's what Daniel in the book, that book. Today's Ring of Fire, 1988. The Ring of Fire. JC. JC. Huh. Well, I'm not making predictions. These are just merely observation. Sorry, I keep putting my finger. I know it may be messing with that mic down there, or the quality of the volume, if you will. Apologies. But man, I would appreciate any feedback, any other connections. I know I missed stuff. I know this was a little bit longer than I had wanted to be, but eclipses being today, the photos, the numbers, those were just pictures I took of the windows just in case anything happened. That was today, 118. Today, 115. That's when this started happening at 1:14 last night. I got home from a wedding, Friday the 13th wedding. The Templars, 716 years ago, 7/7, were burned at the stake, October the 13th, 113. But it started yesterday really with kind of this we seek, we find, and then went into this, and God, there was a comment, and I think that was the one. I'm going to have to do it. Forgive me real quick, just to show you.
there was this asteroid that collided with Earth
Yeah, it is.
over Chelyabinsk in the Soviet Union, in Russia. Sorry, just near the
Mirrored.
Siberia, in the Ural Mountains, just on the
AC,
coast of Siberia, on
Mighty
the
Puffs,
border of
which is
Siberia.
weird too because they were already
That
doing a show
was
about it. But again, that
visible
movie
to
and the
everybody in
asteroid.
broad daylight, and you had to like avert your.
So I'm talking over this idiot. Oh, there we go. This too. Band-Aid. Seeing Red, the Disney movie, has a kid in it that was doing that about the blood moon. And of course, we referenced Donald Trump. He's 77 too, born during a blood eclipse. And I'm going a little bit off the rails. But again, it's all kind of together, so nothing's ever off. He's even got it in there. This guy does good stuff too. Where is it? Come on. May 19th. Who knows? But I am seeking, I am finding, so maybe I can get some help, some feedback, just trying to share some observations and insights that just, I got 69 tabs. Before that was 68. And it's 148, it's 5/8. So I guess I got to end this. So cheers.